death battle show in general. Many of the 3D animated death battles use motion capture animation, in which animator Torian and stuntman John record their own movements to use for the characters on screen, including the female characters. So the next time you see Bayonetta's sultry walk, just imagine Torian doing the same thing while having cameras going. One of Ben and Chad's most memorable moments from researching Goku vs. Superman was trying to determine Goku's ki limits. Early in Dragon Ball GT, Goku uses ki to transport all of Earth's population to a nearby planet. So, they calculated the total weight of every man, woman, child, and animal on planet Earth, before realizing Goku also transported a bunch of random, unmeasurable dinosaurs too. Whoops. During a fateful lunch in 2011, Jared Knobbenbauer, aka Pro Jared, suggested the matchup of Starscream vs. Rainbow Dash as a joke. Afterwards, just for kicks, the crew looked up Rainbow Dash on the My Little Pony Wikipedia and were immediately floored by the pony's absurd the episode was greenlit on the spot. In Solid Snake vs. Sam Fisher, Snake was voiced by Christopher Sabat, known for his anime roles such as Vegeta and in Dragon Ball Z. Turns out, Sabat's casting was more important to him than we realized. At convention panels, he's frequently asked the question, is there a character you haven't voiced who you want to play? And without hesitation, he would always say, Solid Snake. Yes, kids, Death Battle can make dreams come true. Yay. To save time and money, Death Battle animations sometimes repurpose assets between episodes, particularly set pieces. Terminator vs. RoboCop, Godzilla vs. Gamera, and Deadpool vs. Deathstroke all use the same city backdrop. See that bridge Godzilla swimming by? If you look real close, you can just make out Deathstroke causing the most epic traffic collision of all time. Well, okay, not really, but it is technically the same bridge. Before contracting animators, Ben, the director of Death Battle, animated the first 18 episodes himself, despite having zero prior animation experience. This included the TMNT Battle Royale, in which Raphael ruthlessly killed Donatello by stabbing him a total of 24 times. Fun fact, Donatello happens to be Ben's favorite Ninja Turtle. What the heck? The original script for Goku vs. Superman put the episode at 50 minutes long. Chad, who plays Boomstick, lost his voice while recording it. The episode was trimmed and reworked to a much more watchable half hour, but much of what was cut was revisited in Goku vs. Superman 2. Mewtwo vs. Shadow included an extremely rare event in voice acting. Curtis Arnott, aka Takahata 101 of Star, returned to reprise Shadow the Hedgehog, and he was literally directed to act worse to better match Shadow's unique vocal performance in Sonic Adventure 2. Seriously.
You're comparing yourself to me? You're not even good enough to be like you. Eat those words.
Too much
Kirby was originally going to make his Death Battle debut in Kirby vs. Ditto, a popular viewer reference. However, Ditto was replaced with Majin Buu after our researchers discovered Kirby was strong enough to throw giant monsters all the way to the sun. Kirby, this guy, this adorable pink puffball of cuteness is a goddamn monster. Thanks for coming to the Death Battle.
Now I want marshmallows.
Great weekend at RTX and SGC.
Hey guys! How's it going? Not just the Death Battle panel. Welcome to Death Battle Live. The difference being that we've got a ton of cool stuff to show all of you guys today, including a Death Battle and some surprise little tidbits that you maybe didn't expect. So, first off, we're just going to kind of introduce who we are. And in case you don't know what Death Battle is, it's where we pit people, characters against each other in a fight and piss a lot of people off on the internet.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, hi, I'm Ben. I'm the showrunner and I play Wiz. I'm Chad. I play Boomstick. And then over here we've got Torian. Torian, what do you do?
Oh.
Torian, what do you do?
I'm sorry, I'm the 3D animator.
And then of course we've got these two guys on the side. Nick?
Hey, I'm Nick. I'm partially responsible for ruining some of your childhoods, I'm sure.
I still cry today.
I'm the other part of that responsibility of ruining your childhood.
Oh, awesome.
So when Death Battle first started, it was just us two. Right? It was just me and Chad. Like I would do all the research and writing and even the animation. Sucked back then. But,
It was beautiful.
It was just us doing everything, and then we eventually brought on Nick to do some of the writing, Torian to do the animation, and just this year, the feedback is really loud. It's hard for you guys can hear it, but it's hard for us to tell. Just a heads up to everybody back there. It sounds like I'm talking to myself. It's crazy. If you can bring that down. Sam was brought on this year to help write many of the episodes as well. Actually, the way it works now is while Nick is writing an episode, he's writing the next episode alongside Jessica. Jessica, you right there? We've got this duo team going on. Thanks for Marissa for voicing that trivia video. So there was a ton of crazy little factoids that I thought I really didn't know before. And of course, Gerardo's actually at the booth right now, unfortunately.
Gerardo also does a lot of researching and editing for Nick.
Yeah. You see this handsome Colombian guy who works for ScrewAttack walking around, tell him that he does his job.
Yeah. So we've got quite a team for Death Battle nowadays. I don't know,
we also have a volunteer research team and our other freelance animators as well.
Yeah, it's a crazy group, large group of people working on the show. It's crazy to think about. Like 5 years ago, like I went out through everything myself and be like, Chad, does this sound good? And then that would be it. Yep. Now we have a huge team. It's crazy. So I don't know. You guys want to talk a little bit about what you do and how it feels being part of that?
That's I figured we would talk since we're here with microphones.
Maybe a little bit. We're actually going to have another panel tomorrow at RTX. We're going to do mostly Q&A there. So we might do a little bit of Q&A here, but this is mostly going to be showing stuff off.
We got a lot of fancy things.
We love you guys. We got a lot of cool stuff to show. So actually, Sam, this is your first time ever being on a Death Battle panel. I want to hear what it's like working on Death Battle from your side.
Well, let me tell you. Originally, I started doing it because I was writing Death for Death Battle for so long, because I thought it was everything in the office was funny. Like they'd bring up stuff like that Batman made blindness once, and it was like, why aren't we doing something with that?
Even forgot to mention he's been writing Death for Death Battle for ages.
Show. And so from that. I kept writing that, and they're like, that's funny, you did good job. And then so now they're like, how would you do Death Battle too? I was like, okay, fine, I'll write this. And it's been a lot of fun. Jessica is my research assistant, and she helps me do everything. Our first fight that we ever did, especially grammar, researched every bit of it, wrote it, and just pretty much passed it on to Ben and Chad, was Bowser Ganon, which came out a little while ago, and it's just a lot of fun. Writing is very interesting to assume, okay, I'm gonna write it, and then you do a research paper's worth of college level work, and you have to just think of all these things. And so the thing about writing a Death Battle is it's really soul crushing when you take it to Ben and Chad. Yeah. Because you're like, especially when we did Flash Quicksilver, which took 5 weeks of reading stuff and super long. Yeah, it was terrible. And then we'd be like, got it, guys, and then we'd pass it over, and Ben would be like, yeah, that's wrong, you're stupid. And then we just...
You too? He tells you you're stupid? All the time. Ben and I have the best job when it comes to Death Battle now, because, we just get to ruin dreams.
My dreams!
It's so you get, the hope in their eyes, and, we found the solution, and, look, I did all of this math, here's, a page of it, and then it's just yeah, but that doesn't matter because this one thing right here was different, and then you just watched it just drain for a bit. Yeah, working on the show for so long, we've experienced so many of these little weird niche things that we're really good at just kind of instantly pointing at something and being like, yeah, but what if this? Or that probably is that. Why don't you look for that? And then they look it up and it's, oh yeah, sure enough.
We've been working on this for 6 years, and now whenever we go to a movie or watch something on TV or read a comic book, our experience is ruined because we're constantly looking at things happening on screen and thinking okay, what does that mean? How many pounds of force does it take for that to happen? That kind of thing. Has that started happening to you guys?
The other day, actually, when we were doing Bowser Ganon, Chat sent something. He's like, yeah, we can call just to give Bowser some flavor to be this dragon-like creature. And I was like, no, dude, that's not a dragon. Dragons they don't breathe fire like that. They have a chemical that comes out of their throat and ignites. And it's you can't call them a dragon. It was just such a stupid thing to analyze, be it's not a dragon, it's magic, you idiot, not science.
There's real dragons?
Yeah, there's a way dragons work, technically.
It's other things to talk about with Death Battle, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I have a daughter, and so I'll watch a lot of her shows, and like, I can't, and they're very cartoony or something. They're like, oh my god, when I saw Frozen, I was like, Elsa's a monster! She would just wreck shit. Like,
You kill so many people in Death Battle.
I know.
Elsa and Death Battle.
She can summon, first of all, ice cold, she frees people, but she can like make all these intricate structures, like impaling weapons, and then she starts bringing shit to life. She can make shit monsters. Is there a limit to that? Probably not, because she can make a humongous ice castle. So like, yeah, think about that. That's perfect.
She's an absolute beast. Oh my god.
Yeah, so my daughter's like, let it go.
Like Elsa
I'm like,
versus
Elsa,
Sub-Zero. That
Elsa versus Sub-Zero.
would be See? No.
Elsa versus Apocalypse.
Elsa to be in a death battle, and we had an idea. We've talked about this before on panels, but we had an idea
one of these days.
involving. Okay, it's the Disney Princess Battle Royale.
Yes! Yes! Do it! Do it!
A long time, and we would love to do it, and not just as a death battle, but as a death battle musical.
Yeah, we're gonna
Shut up! Do it!
Years at this point.
We just really don't, like, Disney's really protective of their princesses and the mouse, and like, think about how much shit Disney owns now.
Yeah, not just,
Everybody.
Like,
not just being worried about them getting
Marvel,
pissed over it, but like if they got pissed at us. Like,
Yeah, we don't want to mess with the people that are notorious for suing people. Like,
Like a third of our stuff is the properties.
Yeah.
So.
We'll
make
see.
it happen.
One of these days.
Did they just confirm it?
Disney Princess Battle Royale.
Here's my surprise.
Also versus
And Nario.
Moon. Mulan. Well, yeah, I don't know. But
Elsa
yeah,
versus
so we
Fire
got tons of
character.
different random death battle ideas floating around the office all the time.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm really excited because if any of you have been to our panels before, I usually talk about like silly matchups that I've thought about and wanted to do, but we didn't get to. And we launched DBX recently, so I don't know if you guys saw Ronald McDonald versus Colonel Sanders.
Shut up!
But DBX is perfect for stuff like that, where it's like we really have no business doing like a death battle. I mean, I guess we would have because we could analyze it, but it's just more wacky stuff. Like I'm telling you right now, there will be a DBX, maybe even a death battle. We'll see of Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah!
That would be awesome. Oh yeah.
Last year.
Alright, there we go. Jordan, we gotta animate.
That'd be cool if they did.
Ridiculous.
Oh, they need to do it. They need to do it.
He said they did whoever
That's not right.
this guts or class.
Back up. You can do it again.
Beginning to think he just enjoys it.
Running through walls with the mocap suit on. That'd be fun.
But surprise, one of them is real.
The best part about that is that the walls would actually hinder the mocap. Like, he's really just doing it for fun.
Yeah, the way mocap works is it like a lot of his animation uses motion capture. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, but I mean, the most important part is like if I do it with John, and I'm like, okay, great. We can't use any of that though. So
We want to explain like the process and what it is.
I mean, it's just like there's 6 cameras, tracks their movements from 6 different angles. We're at like a bunch of different colors, so it's easy to track. So we do have a wall. It's gonna cut like 3 of the cameras off, and the footage will be useless.
You want to be able to see your body movements.
No.
So the whole point is for the body
That's not
movements for you.
that's
on
not the
camera.
point, though. I get to jump through a wall.
Just put the wall in your
I'm
office.
just gonna wear the costume and record myself. That'll be the only part.
Do we need to get you like an adult block set and build a big wall so that you can just bust it down?
yeah, if we went like rotating green and red Legos, do you think we could do it?
Build that border.
Yeah.
I want that.
Wait, Legos? Are you a monster? Have you stepped on a Lego?
I think I'm just gonna go with put on the costume, and that'll be the only part of the video. That's in real life.
Just suddenly cuts to real life in a costume and busts through the wall.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah.
We can talk about that matchup for ages.
No,
We
we
got
don't.
these days. With DBX, it's going to be fun because we'll be able to do a bunch of crazy matchups like that. Actually, you know what? Just go straight to that. We do have one of our little special videos we want to show you guys. In the DBX. I do want to say real quick, way, guys coming to the stream and watching, thank you for coming and watching us on the stream. Unfortunately, we are going to have to block the DBX from the stream because it's not actually airing on
This is
ScrewAttack
way early.
months, right?
Months?
But we won't, it's only like 2 minutes long. We'll come back. We got plenty of other stuff that you guys are going to be able to see.
Including the Death Battle.
Including the Death Battle.
That will be streamed, so if you're watching on the Twitch stream.
So real quick, let's watch the new coming up eventually DBX.
Okay, so now like, one of the things we get asked a lot is just like, oh, what was one character that you really didn't want to lose in a death battle or something like that? Well, with DBX, I knew we were doing this matchup, but I had like no hand in it whatsoever, and we let Jets animate that, right?
Yes, Jets, who animated the McDonald versus Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, and so I realized that it's done, or it's almost done, and so I just messaged Jets, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really hope to God the Penguin wins. And he's like, you'll see. Like, and he had already sent it to Ben, and then Ben showed me, and then I'm like, yes!
No one wins.
I made DDD, but that was like one of my moments of like, yeah, in Smash, I made DDD. So like, that was one of my scary moments. I was like, I didn't want to see Penguin die.
I mean, that happens to us all the time whenever
Yeah.
we're even for Death Battle. Like, when we are going into the research and stuff, like all of us, like we're not biased when it comes to like picking out characters, but we're biased as people like anybody. So we have favorite characters, and when one of our favorite characters gets into a death battle and loses, we're like, oh,
Rip.
that's sad.
I'm actually attached to Sam Fisher. Like, I had never played a Splinter Cell game before, but when I was researching that, I really wanted him to be the underdog upset, but it just couldn't happen.
Every one that I've written so far, the person I didn't want to win is winning.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, every single one. I'm like, I started, I'm like, I hope that guy wins or lady, and then I'm like, no.
It's just right there, Dev, though. I have to act it out.
That's fair, yeah.
And look at it 10 times over.
Yeah, is there any character that you were animating that you got really bummed out?
Well, after it's been done, it's like 4 characters. So I'm like, one of you gotta die. I gotta kill like one of you, so yeah, that was sad.
That was your idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The way that Bayonetta died? You
It was
got
sad, okay? Let's
Just leave it alone.
And you didn't like it.
No, Nick did something else. I'm trying to remember. Nick is notorious for writing in deaths that are far more brutal than they need
It's
to
the time
be.
between him
I
and
think it was
Chad.
the one who
God, I remember
suggested that
this.
we hang Captain America.
These two guys come up with the worst deaths ever.
Yeah.
The original ending for Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher was Solid Snake was going to use his CQC to like literally break every bone in Sam Fisher's
I was so
body.
excited for it too.
He gives me the script, and he like beats the shit out of Sam Fisher, breaks every bone in his body. Then he stabbed him and electrocuted him.
No, he did
something.
something
This is like
stab.
I think of like brutal ways to kill someone. Nick goes for like sadness. Like in
The Pokemon death had ash.
remember how
Sorry,
sad the original
Charizard.
death was? And you were like, oh my god, read this. And he shows me. It was like, he breaks like every bone in his body. And
then
like,
the plane
even the
crashes.
dialogue, though, it was like this moment of like, you want him to have like redemption, but it's taken away from him, but not before it cut to the plane and shows like,
Oh, that's right, because Grim, Sam's assistant, was flying the plane and was helping Sam, and then Otacon was helping Snake in the fight. In the script Nick gave to me, Snake kills Sam, and then gets the hard drive or whatever, and is walking out, and then he tells Otacon to go kill Grim.
and then we
Even though
watch
it
it
doesn't matter
happen.
anymore.
Yeah, it was
And then the plane crashes. It's just like, that's a
in
little
the background,
bit.
as like you just had this really sad death, you'd be walking, you see her plane crash and her screaming. Like, you know, you're just
Oh my god! Seriously?
I
And
mean,
then he comes to me and says, so you think you can do this? Yeah.
you say that, but your pitch for Pokemon versus Digimon is probably the saddest
It's
death
a sad.
that we never did.
Yep.
You're a
And
cool
we kind
man.
of did a little too much, honestly. So, at the end of Pokemon vs. Who, hopefully everybody's seen it, because we're about to probably ruin some people's childhoods. At the end of Pokemon vs. Digimon, so Wargreymon is fighting Charizard in the air, right? And he cuts him up, and Charizard falls on Red and breaks Red's
Breaks
legs.
his legs.
Okay,
I don't like it.
so in the script I wrote, Charizard is not supposed to get up off of Red. We're never actually supposed to see the legs bleeding, and like Red is helping.
That was
Snake.
also my idea.
But Torian did it anyway.
I'm the one laying in the mocap room with broken legs.
But it gets even worse. As we're writing it, Shad is next to me, and he goes, hey, you know what would be great? Is if Charizard gets up, sees that Red has his broken legs, and he looks up and Wargreymon was throwing his giant, I can't remember what ball it's called. There's so many exceptions. The death ball down. And then Red looks up at it, and a tear goes down his eye. And he looks at Charizard.
Charizard blocks it as it's
and
coming
Charizard
in.
like blocks the ball, and Red
So
reaches
it's
up to
getting
him.
low.
Red gets up, like crawls over and hugs him. It's like, you did a good job, buddy.
And he wants to Charizard. It's about getting by the ball. He crawls on top of him and puts his arms around him and just goes, I'm sorry.
And then Charizard.
So rude. So rude.
To the point to where like Charizard, like he grabs both on the Charizard.
Just never did it. So sad.
Someone that was awesome.
Right, shotgun neck snap. That was great.
Oh yeah, dude.
God.
I was proud of that one. That one was brutal.
Yeah, it's great for
Yeah,
fun.
that was cool. I remember when that one came out, and I think it was Barbara said like, I can't believe he's never done that in the actual show.
There's like 2 frames, like, so if you watch it again and you kind of just look at it, Tifa's head spins around twice.
Dang.
So she does it once and her head just spins around like a little top.
So we're not all weird psychos who like
No,
some
not at
characters
all.
die. Just heads up.
You're horrible people.
But it's funny because we can tie together those moments of like sadness and like a character that we didn't want to die. You watch us have like a moment of like, oh, and then it literally goes from that to like, well, what's the best way to kill them? Like, it's horrible shit.
That show's disturbing.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you? Do you have a favorite way you killed somebody so far?
You just looking at
Kill the
that,
character?
sick.
I think it's this one, probably. Yeah, well, it's the one, oh, what about Shoei? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so I'm
yeah,
saying-
okay, good. This is, yeah.
YouTuber Shad is your
Yeah,
favorite kill?
yeah. This one, I like it a lot. It's just the
Talk
idea
about
of
it
it.
later.
I also like
I
Battle
think it's
because I
funny.
gotta kill him from inside, but yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you want to talk a little bit? We are going to be showing YouTuber's Shadow later on. And it was written by Sam
Yeah.
and Jessica.
Jessica, of course.
You want to talk a little bit about how just the process of that? Any behind the scenes things?
For Mewtwo Shadow, it's something where you're going through Pokemon and then Sonic, which are both like kind of hard things to go through because they don't have a lot of roots in reality, and especially Sonic's weird. It's like, yeah, there's Jeff the human, and then there's superpowered hedgehogs. And you research and stuff like that. And Jessica and I both had to do so much math to like calculate. Okay, here's a similar lake in the real world, and if somebody teleported that much water, how much would it weigh? And just it's so much math. Like writing a death battle is almost identical to doing like 4,000 level classes in college. Like it's almost the exact same thing, except what you're doing in the research you're doing is gonna have like 0 real world effect. It's useful. It's like I could have gotten a degree or something, but now I just know too much about the Flash. I'm like, if somebody's like, what about the speed zone? And I'm like, hey, you're wrong about everything. Shut up now. I'll tell you everything about the Flash in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's just that's what it's like.
Did you just call it the speed zone?
Well, I was trying to do it wrong. It's
zone, no.
That's it for
I was like, Sam is all about the speed zone.
Quicksilver had no chance.
Or AutoZone. I've been there too. Yeah. We're gonna get into that.
This is not
This is nuts. How did you just do a pitch for AutoZone?
They helped us with Joker vs. Mewtwo.
They provided the car?
Yeah. It broke down on me. Like, oh, no.
Oh, yeah, actually, Joker vs. Mewtwo. That was a death battle. I mean, like the fight was so different from before.
Yeah, no.
Like half of it was the finale leading up to it. It was a different tone to it than most episodes. I think it was a really fun challenge.
Yeah, you got to do something like one of my things, and now especially having written it for a little while, that I really want to do, and I know it's been talked about a handful of times, but in Joker Sweet has some, is the car kind of battle. Like I really want to do one that's just straight out race, essentially. Yeah. So I'm excited for the next time I get cars than anything. It's just gonna be like 90% of a race, and then they'll just get out for each other somewhere. Say for race.
Let's go fly from Quicksilver.
It's not hard. think
Oh, what if we did wacky racers to the death?
That'd be awesome.
I totally forgot about that.
One last ride.
You wanted Vin Diesel to show up.
One of us talked it the other day. Well, we actually talked about doing Mad Max versus the Transporter, but then we were like, no, that's just stupid.
I don't ever want to
He
touch
can
the
flip cars
transporter.
over.
Upside down to unhook a bomb.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
We were like, oh wait, no, he's like inhumanly good at driving cars. Like, no, we can't do that.
Speed Racer versus Captain Falcon.
Maybe a TBI.
Need for Speed Battle Royale.
But yeah, I'm kind of forgetting, but didn't you want the Batmobile or something to be driven by Vin Diesel?
No. So the idea,
here we go.
The idea was the wacky, so in the race or whatever, Vin Diesel would steal the Batmobile.
Yes.
Why not Nick Cage?
He
Do like a
shot
gun in 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Yeah. He'd be better. Nick Cage, you'd have Nick Cage steal next time.
Sorry and Sean Bowling are all about this. Like, next time we do one cars, and Diesel. I'm just like, why? Like, just
He's practically a superhero.
Have you seen Fast and Furious? That's why.
He's basically immortal.
Bridges.
Let's just put Vin Diesel in Death Battle. I'm sure it could work.
Oh, great. That would be great.
He is great.
Alright, Sam, you're getting that one.
Pacifier
versus Super Nanny.
Super powerful.
Maybe not.
For Nanny.
Alright, well, anyway. Now my brain is completely sidetracked. On Vin Diesel.
Can't stop thinking
Oh,
about
okay, we're just gonna make the rest of the panel about Vin Diesel. No.
Yes.
For a diesel battle!
Vin Diesel versus everyone.
Versus the world. The Rock.
We've got requests to do like universe versus universe matches.
yeah, fuck that.
I get it.
Well, it's a thing, because there's like a versus community online, right, where they argue in forums about who would win. And it's a thing to apparently pit universes against universes, or one person against an entire universe. Like Goku solo the
One
Naruto
Punch Man.
verse or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be one hell of a, like, we're already thinking like Avengers versus Justice League is going to be one hell of an episode. A universe? No thank you. It's a million people.
Oh yeah, and we get that all the time. And I've had people say it to my face, you know, like, are you ever gonna make all of Marvel fight all of DC? And I'm just like, God no.
Who has time for that?
Maybe over the course of like 200 episodes? We've already got several of them.
Yeah, eventually you guys just piece it together, whatever.
Like, when you get things that are that big too, sometimes you get like, you had it just a minute ago where they revealed something about the Joker while we were doing it, and they were like, hey guys, big Joker stuff coming up next Thursday. We're like, shit, are we gonna change it? Oh
Yeah,
no.
so how many of you
this is
guys
a real
heard
fight.
about that thing with the Joker and they said they're going to reveal his real name? Anybody heard about that?
Yeah.
DC said that they were going to do that. They announced that like with weeks to go before the episode debuted. So I was just like crossing my fingers, praying that nothing significant would change, that, you know, everything would still hold true. And I think it's somewhere that
The animation was almost done, the writing was done, I think we probably already voiced.
We're Jessica and I are doing the exact same thing right now, so it's common.
Yeah,
It's a love and hate thing, because like, whenever like a new piece of media comes out, either like right after a death battle, then it's like, oh well, you know, we're gonna get more eyes on the episode because people are gonna be looking for that kind of stuff, and that'll be cool, so it'll do better. But then it's also like, oh, what if it has this new piece of thing, like, gosh, Goku's Superman.
Superman.
Uh,
We're Superman, we're working on it for like years, and then we release it, and a month later, the new Dragon Ball Z movie comes out and he becomes a god.
I am God!
Oh yeah,
Oh no!
Goku is a god now, so he could obviously win. That was just like constantly.
I mean, that's the reason why Superman vs. Goku 2 exists. Because that pretty
And then
much
people just kept going and kept going and kept. It's like,
Okay.
had to cover
Yeah,
it.
but then Dragon Ball Super got announced for that one.
No, that's true.
And then somebody just said it too. I just heard it right now. Someone's like, God. Yeah, I know.
I go for Super Superman's the way it does, but we know. And then there's evil Goku Black. He's coming in now. He beats Superman. Oh no!
Please don't do it again.
It'll never end.
See his face.
Don't do it. Just stop.
We just accept it. It's just there.
Goku vs. Superman 3, guys. How about it?
No.
No more. No more. There'll be deaths this time.
I say after Super! Wait 5 years!
He's writing a rage blog. And like, they said live at SGC that they are considering doing a Goku vs. Superman 3. Hashtag biased assholes.
Speaking of biased assholes. Actually, that was a
Thanks, Ben.
We got some animation behind the scenes of the show.
Why does that make me biased?
It was nothing. I just was like speaking up because that's the traditional way to go into another topic, right?
Go to the worst possible
It doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work.
This is why Nick and I right now have been terrible at transitioning.
These guys right. I don't do any more writing.
Reading the script like, what is he doing?
But I think we got a video to show about some of the behind the scenes of what Tori does.
You made these videos. Thank you.
Yeah, there it is.
Mission talk.
For you guys,
This is for you to talk over.
I don't know.
what are you doing, Tori?
So this is in the Death Battle trivia about
it's so
me animating
cool.
girls, like most animating girls. That's pretty much. You see my hips move? No. Look at my ass.
Is this just the looking
so-
ass segment?
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's
A lot of
so
this. You know what?
So why are you wearing the blue and red?
He doesn't have to go to the gym,
So the
right?
blue red are unique mocap setup tracks body parts by color. So it'll take the model that's in the program and it'll match it up to the color that's on my body and tracks and movements like that. Ooh, some Iron Man versus Lex stuff. So really quick, the video that you guys see in the show and it's nice and pretty. That's with post on top of it and a bunch of other work goes in it. These types of videos is just all the stuff that's in the program. So this is no motion capture at all. This is just all keys. I think it's about a day's worth of work. This is a deleted scene from Iron Man vs. Lex. So
This is how it was going to start originally.
Yeah,
right?
this is
He
how it was
wasn't
gonna
going to be
start.
in his office.
Yeah, it's an okay scene. I just didn't feel good about it, and a lot of that goes on. Just like any movie, TV show, and they cut stuff for whatever reason. I wasn't really satisfied with how this went, but it's not a really bad shot. But
Especially since you looped it like 20 times.
My
You
God,
see all the
John, it's
interesting
helping. I just keep
video.
flying in circles. And then he blew up.
This is another cut shot too. In the original video, he doesn't sniff the air, and then it's also chopped up to match the standoff. Ben, how many times did you loop this? What did you think I was gonna say?
We talked about this.
I know, but I didn't
I
think
said
you
I
were
was
gonna loop
looping.
it.
No, guys, we're it's important. We need to see how he sniffs.
Yes. That's very,
Yeah, there you
very
go. Like,
important.
anybody who play any Marvel game or even X-Men versus whoever knows Berserk. Ben, come on!
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, have you seen it again? One more.
He's so strong, he broke the concrete by slamming him.
That's the first thing I said to you was when we did that fight. It's like, we have to have Berserker Barrage. Be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. This is just effects placement. So this is like kind of like a time lapse of just putting effects and all the cool sparks and all that other stuff.
Well, this is what he's doing 24/7. We walk into the office, and
Yeah.
or he's just doing this. How much this is sped up, obviously. But
Yeah.
like it takes forever. Like how many hours of work did this?
This probably was like a day.
day?
Because this is the last shot when they're both in Berserker mode and there's like effects and speed.
Just
and
this
stuff.
shot took a day.
Yeah. So, just the shot effects wise. So the animation was the day before.
Okay.
So a lot of work goes into this show.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
Tori got hired, it was really interesting because it was like, great, we have
So
a
then that's how it
3D
looks.
animator like in-house,
You know,
right?
before post and all that stuff, it's all cool and clean. This is one of my favorite shots. This is John doing the mocap for this.
Look at his
it
crotch.
really hard.
And this is before and after,
Yeah.
before visual effects.
Yeah. So the one on the left is before post, and the one on the right is after post.
Look how shiny it is.
Yeah.
So shiny.
And watermark.
And
Steal that.
Where's my shiny YouTube?
That's what it looks on YouTube.
Right. It's just two shots. Trish! This is cool.
That's the only reason he wanted it there, just for
Yeah,
sure.
yes.
Now, why is the wall red?
The red, that's just a placeholder. So the one on the left is, the checker floor. Every time you see a checker floor or anything that I do, that's a placeholder environment. So whenever I'm satisfied with how something looks, then I'll pop in the real environment, maybe render it all out, do some more posts. This is cool, Bayonetta's always doing that punching stuff. And I was like, well, what if Dante was like, no, that's not gonna work. It was a really cool shot to set up. This was 2 days of work, actually. The animation and the effects, probably 2 days in total. And then this is me and John talking about cool stuff for Dante versus Bayonetta. He's trying to spin, he can't do it. I animate all the spins. But no, John's really great. We bounce ideas off each other, and in this video I kind of shed more light on like what's mocap. Sometimes it's just me playing both characters, which is what that was. Then you got John flipping around, and then you got me and John. So it's easy to see like, oh, he did mocap, and now they have the moves. The problem with motion capture is, and this is whether it's $20,000 mocap setup or it's $100 mocap setup, you have to clean it up and you have to fix it. And you have to place it, and you have to time it out, and you have to just make sure it works. A lot of mocap that I record, I don't even use. I will just go in and just animate it by hand. So mocap is a really good base to start and be like, okay, we can get this, or we can try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll just animate it. That was cool. I like the sword. I did that, and I think it's cool. A lot of it is just me kind of figuring out, what works and what I can do in a certain amount of time. This is kind of like a shot, like breakdown, so like to kind of really show you like the raw and then like different steps.
That's a cloth simulation. I thought it said cloth simulator. I'm like, you working on a game?
This shot is really cool. This is no motion capture, obviously, but maybe I was spinning like that. No. This is just like the bow. You have to animate that by itself, and then you put like some cool green arrows in there, and you mix it all together, and you get a cool shot.
We have to animate the weapons separately.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's like layers, right? Like even if you like anything you do production-wise, Photoshop, whatever you do, you usually work in layers. So there's layers. You do a pass of motion capture cleanup or key animation. This had both. Those little bats are each individually animated by hand on their own little paths to keep it like random. A lot of that was a bunch of cool compositing, and then it comes together and you get cool shots. These next shots is like just the effects placement without everybody in there, and then you composite them all together and you get a cool shot.
It's a lot of work.
I thought I had a decent idea of how 3D animation works. Yeah. And then, he took a room, and we didn't, Torian didn't go to, mocap.com, and, he's like, I'll have one mocap, please. He made the whole thing, you would use, PlayStation Eyes, right?
We built that.
Everything, it's all built.
And
it was
the
2
amount
of work.
Originally, it was 2 connects.
2 connects in my bedroom.
Yeah,
and then 3 PlayStation Eyes in, that little, what's now the merch room.
Yeah,
and then 6 mocap. So we kind of progressively.
Got a bigger room.
Yeah, getting to see firsthand how much work goes into it is crazy. And even the render is insane. Just getting out.
Yeah. Torian pretty much lives in our office, and so seeing how much time he's putting into Death Battle, and I'm like, oh man, all right, I gotta see what I can do to help speed things up so he can go home, And so we start giving him more and more resources. Here's a better computer. Here's access to all the computers in the office for you to render on. All these things. How much time would you say now? How much quicker do you think things work now compared to when you first walked in the office?
That's tough because I just do more stuff.
See, and how much quicker do things go?
See, not much quicker. That's
No,
my answer.
It's the same amount of things move forward.
Of course it's faster. You got better stuff. It's much faster.
The problem is every time I give him more resources, he goes, ooh, I can do more cool shit.
Dante vs. Vendetta wasn't 4 characters at first. It was just Dante vs. Vendetta. I'm like, well, Chad did build this nice computer. To be able to handle 4 characters on the screen.
And you can tell, the consistent upgrade, because, every episode looks better than the last one, and it's just because Torian got a new gadget and now he's working harder making the gadget work.
Yeah.
I assume next time, instead of like getting an apartment, you just get a Winnebago this time, and like parking in the front, and that way you can never actually leave.
What do you want? He's so dedicated to animation, and you constantly see it being upgraded. Like just every time, we're always blown away, and just think like, wow, it couldn't be getting better than that, and then it does, and you're just like, holy shit! And it's just him doing it, and he's so passionate about it. No matter how much we try and do to let him go home, he just uses that to get an even better product. So.
I think the 4 people in the car thing is where like you can really see like, okay, this is going. We don't like. I don't have an idea. I don't even know what I'm doing or how it's gonna look. So.
Well, and it's not just Torian. It's the same for all of our animators.
For sure.
Torian is the only one who's in office at the moment. But we do have several contracted animators outside the office who do both. Well, mostly 2D for Death Battle, but also 3D for DBX. Like the first DBX we released was Master Chief versus Jango Fett, and that was 3D animated by a guy named Mark Zhang, who was actually showing a thing at the Rooster Teeth Animation Festival. Tomorrow, or is that? I can't remember when it is. It's Sunday. I think it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Thank you.
We'll be there.
We're gonna go.
We know when it starts.
We gotta know.
It's Sunday. We'll be there.
So you need the RTX app and make a personal schedule then.
Actually, I did. It's on this phone. It's literally in front of me. But the point is, like, something I like to do, and I think is really important with both Death Battle and DBX, is to encourage these animators to keep trying new things and keep pushing themselves forward. And actually, one of my favorite things about DBX is that we're going to allow these animators to just do whatever.
Yeah.
Right? There's one animator who wanted to do some hand-drawn elements. I'm like, yeah, we can probably do a magic with something with hand-drawn elements.
And Jet's incorporated it into
yes.
McDonald's.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So that's one of the reasons, because Death Battle still has to follow a set of rules. DBX has no rules, not just for the characters themselves, but for the animator, right? He can do whatever the heck he wants, as long as it's not weird. Gross.
Please no porn.
Why is he taking off his pants? No! There's only 1 X in DBX, not 3.
But that's what I love about like, so many events for animation and watching Torian and animation helping out with it. Just kind of the growth of it. And Death Battle it's almost been 6 years. It's crazy to think about how much it's grown.
Yep.
But I think it's time to show Death Battle. But first, I want to introduce Boomstick to Boomstick. Come on up, Boomstick.
Check this out.
I've been looking at this much.
So last year at SGC, we saw somebody come up and they had an awesome Wiz cosplay. And he's like, I've been working on Boomstick. And here he is. Come on up. Yeah, check it out.
Why? But here it is. It's awesome.
So, thanks. Well, this guy has the world's first Wiz and Boomstick cosplay. We have a little tradition whenever we show a new Death Battle panel. I like to get everybody along because usually people do it anyway. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. We're going to do It's Time for a Death Battle. All together, right? Alright, so 3, 2, 1.
It's time for a Death Battle! Yeah!
With Death Battle, our combatants are always extraordinary in one way or another, whether they're a superhero or a plumber. But these two are literally built to show up the rest of their kind. Mewtwo, the genetically engineered Pokemon, and Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Years ago, a brilliant scientist named Dr. Fuji was working to create a brand new life form which would change the world. That's great and all, but he had something else in mind. Fuji hoped his experiments would help him discover a way to resurrect the person he cherished most, his deceased daughter, Amber. With unlimited resources funded by mob money, he figured out how to clone his daughter's ball of consciousness. Because science! But before he could finish, he had to create the most powerful Pokemon, a clone of the legendary Mew. And he named him Mewtwo. Yeah, Fuji wasn't very creative when it comes to naming, but when you can create a new life form with nothing but a fossilized eyelash, you know you're a master of genetic engineering. A field I'd love to get more experience in myself.
Told you 1,000 times, Wiz, you're not gonna alter my DNA.
What are you talking about? I would never do that.
Always watching, Wiz. Always.
Growing up in a test tube, Mewtwo's only companions were Fuji's other test subjects, including Amber herself through some sort of psychic link.
Amber taught Mewtwo about the sun, the moon, tears, and, life stuff. Oh, and also death when she died for good right in front of him.
Worrying this may be too mentally traumatic for the still infant Mewtwo, Dr. Fuji's team erased all memory of her. Unfortunately, this left Mewtwo with a feeling of loss and confusion, and no memories to explain why.
With nothing else to do, Mewtwo decided to take out all his aggression on all of humanity. Then he turned some stupid kid into stone, a bunch of Pokemon cried, and Mewtwo figured out humans aren't so bad after all.
Mewtwo is one of the most powerful psychic-type Pokemon, defeating its foes with the power of its mind.
Alright, wait a minute. You keep calling him it. Is Mewtwo a guy or a girl?
Well, neither. Technically, it's genderless.
Oh, how does it bang? For sure, it's got balls.
I was not ready. I was not ready.
Stadium, and an onslaught of undodgeable stars, multiple types of offensive shields, and a healing ability for when those shields don't quite cut it.
Alongside its other abilities, Mewtwo's favorite move is Psychic, a powerful form of telekinesis. With it, Mewtwo can effortlessly send enemies as heavy as a 500-pound Onix flying through the air.
He can even make himself fly like a Zubat out of hell.
Also, it can augment its melee combat with psychic energy or occasionally a massive spoon.
Would you say he sometimes spoons his enemies?
No, nothing about Mewtwo is cuddly, especially when it uses Hyper Beam or Psy Strength. Attacks so strong they can incapacitate the toughest of Pokemon in a single hit.
And when trouble comes to knocking, Mewtwo enters the door with a badass Mega Evolution.
Mewtwo is one of the few Pokemon capable of Mega Evolving without the assistance of a trainer. As Mega Mewtwo Y, it gains enormous boosts in strength, defense, and speed.
Making Mewtwo powerful enough to fly into space while carrying a robot bug monster.
Fast enough to breach escape velocity over 25,000 miles per hour, over 32 times the speed of sound.
So, really, really fast.
Mewtwo is so skilled in its psychic prowess, it can wipe specific memories from dozens of people at once.
On top of all that, it can survive a massive amount of abuse, like the time it got double impaled by an alien Pokemon's tentacles. Didn't make sense through that.
It effortlessly defeated most of the Pokemon Champions team, including a legendary Articuno. It also teleported an entire crater lake from the top of Mount Cana. This lake is comparable to a similar body of water in the real world, Lake Kilauea, which holds over 385 million tons of water.
Wow, that's almost enough power to lift my ex-wife on buffet day.
Being a psychic Pokemon, Mewtwo is naturally weak to bug, ghost, and dark-type damage. Strange Dr. Fuji didn't pull that code out of his DNA, but whatever.
Hey, you gotta have some sort of failsafe when you're making the world's most powerful Pokemon.
Ah, yes, the ultimate failsafe against the most powerful psychic Pokemon. Bugs!
Oh, God, it's a counterfeit! Get it away, it's spooky!
I was not born a Pokemon, I was created. And my creators have used and betrayed me. So, I stand alone.
Years ago, a brilliant scientist named Professor Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of Sonic's forever balding nemesis, worked to create a new life form which would change the world.
It was called Project Shadow, a covert government operation to discover the secret to immortality. Besides, like diet and exercise, because fuck that.
In Professor Gerald's case, specifically for his granddaughter Maria, who was dying as a result of neuroimmune deficiency syndrome.
Now that I think about it, Project Shadow is a pretty scary name for a program that's all about curing diseases and saving humanity.
Maybe it has something to do with the program's secret pact with a hive mind alien race called the Black Arms.
What?
Perhaps.
Okay. So what do you get when you take immortality, the cure of all diseases, aliens, and put them all together to make the ultimate life
future. And during his time in Gerald's space laboratory, Shadow and Maria grew very close.
Until they were separated by a bullet. Turns out the governments of the world were too fond of all the evil alien business, so they stormed the place, captured Shadow, and killed Maria right in front of him. 50 years later, Shadow escaped and decided to take his revenge by just killing everyone. Until he remembered Maria's last words were pretty much, "Don't be a dick," so he changed his mind.
Now on the side of good, Shadow dedicated himself to protecting the world from the forces of evil.
Turns out fighting the bad guys isn't too hard when you've got super strength, super speed, helped along by some awesome rocket shoes, and a bucket of deadly chaos powers.
By channeling the potentially unlimited power of the Chaos Emeralds, Shadow can enhance physical attacks, heal over time, and strike with powerful energy blasts. And with the power of Chaos Control, he can warp through space and distort time, slowing it down to a crawl, or with enough power, freezing it completely.
He's got so much power, he can only contain it all with 2 inhibitor rings around his wrists. Unless he gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which he can use to transform into a Super Saiyan Shadow. Super Shadow, yeah. And Super Shadow, he is completely invulnerable, can move at the speed of light, and has unlimited access to the power of the Chaos Emeralds.
Enough power to stop the space colony Ark's collision with Earth, and to teleport a giant comet the size of a city. Assuming this rock is half hollow and using the density of concrete as minimum base, this black comet must weigh at least 915 million tons.
Even without his super form, Shadow is powerful enough to wipe out an entire alien fleet in one blast, fast enough to reach hypersonic speeds, and strong enough to play tug-of-war with a giant space monster who is so big he uses a planet a tenth the size of our moon as a chair. Naturally, when you've got this much power, you're probably a cocky dick.
Yes, Shadow is excessively overconfident in his abilities. Also, he has a terrible memory.
This guy spent most of his life wondering who the hell he is. And even when he does remember, he usually winds up losing his memories later anyway. To be fair, if I fell from outer space and all I lost were my memories, I'd consider it a really good day. I mean, I lose them from just falling over at the bar.
That's probably not Also, we can't forget that the Super Shadow form only lasts so long.
Then again, when you move at light speed and have control over space and time, who cares about time limits?
Not usually a problem for the ultimate life form.
Many years ago, Professor Gerald Robotnik endowed me with the power of chaos control. A normal creature like yourself doesn't stand a chance against me.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
You are not welcome here. Leave this place.
What's your problem, freak?
I know not its name, but it is black, red, and very annoying.
This'll stop you.
Another gem? What's he doing?
Chaos.
I must know.
No, control! Good try, monster, but you're
do so.
Pretty hard to win a fight when your opponent can make you forget what you're doing and who you are in an instant.
Shadow has been mind controlled before, and has always relied on outside help to recover. Even while Super Shadow was physically invulnerable, this form didn't protect his mind. Like that time he fell from space, and then the worst game ever happened.
Yeah, Shadow. Sooner or later.
Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. That was very funny, though.
What's next time on Death Battle? Did you write this game?
Yeah, that's when, like we were talking about earlier, just finding good ways to kill people, because it's interesting, and I want to say, good job, Jessica, for doing all the research on this one. She's a super nervous person, so I was watching her being like, are you freaking out? Yeah, and we usually just give the information to Chad and Ben and be like, okay, we think this, and then they tell us who wins, and then once they were like, yeah, Mewtwo wins, I was like, okay, I'm with the spoon, I got this.
Also, I see some people start leaving. Just so you know, we have a very special announcement here.
Don't leave just yet. We got something for you.
Yeah, before we, we're just about out of time, but...
Look under your seat.
No, there's actually a bunch of people on just in case. Next time on Death Battle, we'll actually be announcing... We got a thing going up really soon about that, but... We didn't want to make you guys wait.
Yeah.
So
this one's very special.
Maybe we'll just do it right here.
Let's just do it.
Shut up.
Time on Death Battle.
Is it a highborn? Or is it?
What do you think I'm asking you?
Yes! That's
cool. We're super excited about this episode. We've been working on it for a little bit, and we thought, what better place? Yeah, quite a while. So we felt like this would be the best place to announce it, obviously.
Clearly.
10 out of 10.
We'll be showing a little bit of it at our panel, our Death Battle panel, tomorrow, which is over at the Austin Convention Center.
At 11.
At 11:30 tomorrow. I believe it's 11:30 tomorrow. We'll be showing a little bit of that. We have some other videos as well that we want to show there.
And we'll be taking all questions and things like that.
We'll be doing the usual Q&A thing over there as well tomorrow. So if there was anything we didn't cover that you guys want to know, come to the panel tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Speaking of Austin Convention Center, though, anytime you're over there, we love, everything RTX is, everything that's going on over there, but we also want everybody over there to know what's going on at SGC over here. So let them know that this is the place to go when they're done at RTX. This is the place to party all night.
Any time of the night. You okay? Anytime we got a lot of great stuff coming up, like up next on the SGC stage is Stuttering Craig's Game Show of Awesomeness, which should be a blast. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed the panel, and thanks for coming. I'm actually going to
Nice meeting you.